So John Adams actually said there never was a democracy that did not commit suicide. Because when the people are given the whims of whatever they want to do, however they want to do it, that's ultimately destructive. It tends toward anarchy and chaos. And actually in America, a lot of people think that America is a democracy because everybody gets to vote. Well, I understand why people got to that conclusion. It's really kind of faulty because a democracy, everybody would vote on every single issue every time. You don't vote on every issue that happens at city council meetings. You have city council members that actually go through that process. They vote for that. You have actually state officials who vote on state issues. You have federal officials, your U.S. congressmen, your U.S. senators who vote on those issues. So you are voting to choose people to represent you. So that's a representative form of government, which is what a republic is. So people argue, well, we're a democratic republic. Well, kind of, but the very nature of a republic is through democracy, that you are electing officials to represent you. So we are actually a republican government, but our leaders are bound by constitutions. So our leaders could not arbitrarily choose to do things that are or against the Constitution, that are unconstitutional. So because they're limited by the Constitution, we would say, well, we are a constitutional republic. Therefore, we're not a true democracy. And actually, one of the guys who was a signer of the Declaration, his name was Benjamin Rush, and he was a ratifier of the U.S. Constitution. He served in the first 3 different presidential administrations. Very, very active founding father. Arguably had one of the best resumes of any founding father. Really impressive guy, but Benjamin Rush said that democracies actually were mobocracies. It was the rule of the mob, and they were incredibly dangerous. The founding fathers recognized that our system of government was only going to be safe. John Adams says that our Constitution was made only for a moral and a religious people. It is wholly inadequate to the government of any other. Our nation was only going to be safe as long as you had a people who were educated in the morals and precepts of Christianity, which many founding fathers wrote about this notion and premise, because America, we believe in freedom. And freedom is amazing. I so appreciate freedom, but freedom only works if you have moral people. Because if you give freedom to immoral people, what do? Commit immoral acts. So the founding fathers recognized the only way we can have freedom is if we teach morals, and they said there's no greater morals than that taught in the Bible. So the founding fathers not only promoted education, they promoted religion, or specifically Christianity in education, because of what it would produce. Benjamin Franklin, who arguably was never a Christian, even though he did believe in God, he promoted the Bible. When he was the governor of Pennsylvania, he actually encouraged people to go to church, and he encouraged the Bible to become more significant in schools. Now, I would argue this is very pragmatic of him, because what Franklin acknowledged is that the criminals we have in our state are not frequent church attenders. That is accurate, right? If you go to whatever prison you want to look at, the people who are there are not your faithful church attenders, because what you're learning in church is a different standard of morality. And even when he promotes the Bible in schools, it's not because Franklin necessarily believed Jesus was a son of God, because there's no evidence he ever did believe in that idea. But Franklin recognized that the morals of what the Bible teaches are what our state, now this is when he's the governor of Pennsylvania, it's what our state needs. So you have a founding father who is not a Christian, who is still promoting the Bible because of what it would produce. And this is where the founding fathers understood that our nation would only survive so long as we had a people who were educated in the morals and precepts of Christianity, which is why the notion today of the separation of church and state was not their notion. Their notion was that we don't want the church to rule over the nation, and we don't want the nation to establish a religion and say you all have to be Catholic, you all have to be Anglican, which is what was happening in Europe under many kings, where they would say, nope, you're all going to be whatever I think is right. And they said, no, in America, there will be no establishment of religion, but we also won't prohibit the free exercise thereof. You have the freedom to believe in whatever you want to believe in, but we're not going to establish a religion. Now, you do have the freedom to believe in Jesus or not believe in Jesus, but if you go to school in America, you're going to learn about who Jesus was. You can choose to believe in him or not, but you're going to learn the morals he taught, because they're the best morals for our nation to function. When we learn to love our neighbors ourselves, to treat other people the way we want to be treated, all of a sudden we can function a lot better as a society.